I don't want to say it's a normal week, but it's the first time we've had 7 days, so it's a different, so I guess we go back to a normal practice schedule with today being our Tuesday, so we'll have a good full padded Tuesday practice. And then very talented, very good Western Kentucky team. I don't know if they were picked first or second or should have been if they weren't. I think they were. So, and they had an open date. Thank you. They had a open date, which is kind of questioned a little bit. But how does one team get an open date in the middle of this midweek stretch in a league game? I guess it's just the way it fell. I don't know. So they have an open date and extra time to get ready. So we got to be ready for some. They'll do a lot. They do a lot of stuff, but we got to be ready for some stuff that maybe they hadn't shown because they had a few extra days to put in. So work hard, try to get better, fix the stuff that we didn't do well the other day, and go from there.
How do they compare to Liberty?
Really very similar. I mean, the quarterback is, Liberty had a great quarterback. I think, we're going to play one of the best ones here. This guy's a great thrower. Doesn't get sacked very often because he gets rid of the ball. He's accurate, very intelligent. Their skill guys are wideouts. They might have the best group that we've seen or will see all year. And we've got some good groups coming up. But they got pretty good experience. Athletic on defense. A couple big interior defensive linemen, 300-some pounders that really move and athletic. And so I think they're very comparable to Liberty in their athleticism. Probably have more experience on the skill level, offensive skill level.
After going back and watching the film, what did you think of the way Ashton performed?
I thought for his first time in there, I thought he's pretty composed. He's a very conscientious guy anyway. I mean, he's always coming by and asking questions, and he's from where he got when he first came here, he was literally 140 pounds. It could be raining a thunderstorm, he wouldn't get wet if he moved a lot. He was that thin, but he's getting better. He's getting stronger. He's gaining more weight. Football is important to him, and he has a good kind of sense about him as far as learning. So I thought he did pretty well. There's a couple of things we'd like to have back, but he's you lose one quarterback early, and then you lose another one, and then next thing you know, Ashton is in there. So I don't know where we're at right now. We'll see if Zion and Logan, they're both banged up. But we'll give Ashton a lot of reps. We'll get Smoot a lot of reps, and we'll see what happens. I mean, we're hurting the tailback. Ronnie's out, of course, Wiggins, and then Malik Jackson is doubtful as well. But you're going to have those things, I guess, during this stretch. So we'll adapt it and see what we can do.
Is Logan an ankle?
Yeah, he had an ankle problem and taped it up. He's a tough guy. I mean, he'll fight through anything. So, but he's going to be limited this week. We'll see what he can do the next couple of days.
What about Zion? Do you think he'll be able to play Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a concussion thing, but it wasn't didn't see like a big hit or anything. So, those are the hardest ones to figure out because, it's different for there's no set. You have a series of, conditions or something you got to pass. There's 20 of them. I always tease our trainers because one of the 20 is anxiety. I'm like, hell, we all have a high mark on that. You can ask any player, any coach, what's their anxiety level, and it's going to be off the chart there. So I don't know how you measure that with a concussion. But anyway, we'll see he is, and Zion he's battled a lot of injuries in his career. We'll see if he, but the hard part about any position, but especially quarterback, you got to rep during a week if you're a quarterback, if you want to play halfway decent. If you don't take any reps at all, unless you're Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or something, it's going to be really hard. And, anytime our quarterbacks have played and they haven't rep during the week, like Ashton, he got reps during the week. We rep 3 guys, like I said before, and sometimes 4. So we do that purposefully because they got that position. Guys have to get reps in order to have a chance.
Looking back at when Ashton comes in, he has that big completion, I think, on the second play in the game. How important is that, do you think, for guys when they haven't been playing to have a good couple plays early on for their confidence?
Yeah, you'd have to ask them, but I would think there's going to be some nerves or anxiety, whatever, when you first go in there. And then once you start playing, you realize, hey, this is just like practice. We try to put our guys under a little pressure in practice, but it's not the same, obviously, as it was in a game. And you're going in a tight game, and all of a sudden the focus is on you to make the plays, what have you. So, like I said, it's for guys that are just now playing. Our expectation is that they're going to play well, if we wouldn't put you in there. But at the same time, we understand, hey, this is the first time they're playing, especially at that position. I mean, the quarterback, you got a lot on your plate, and especially the way we go up tempo and all that. So you don't have a whole lot of time to think about it. Now, people would say, well, you slow it down so he has time to think about it. That's not who we are. We're not a slow tempo team. So every quarterback practices at that pace. And our expectation is that if he goes in the game, he plays at that pace.
So obviously it sounds like you're not going to slow down, but are there things y'all can do from a play calling standpoint to maybe help those guys?
Oh, yeah, you can simplify it. But it's not even so much him, the quarterback, it's everybody else. If you're putting other guys in there that haven't had a lot of experience, you got to simplify it. And that goes back to coach. I mean, we can slow it down. Obviously, if you get a lead, you're going to slow things down. But, part and parcel of who we are is our tempo is part of our deal. And, we know it. Our opponents know it. I think the officials know it, even though at times we have to remind them of that.
Jordan McCann's had 3 targets. Is there a plan to get him more involved?
Yeah, we need to play him more. He's gotten better and better. I think he's still learning what we're doing, but he's got some talent. He's earned the right to play a little bit more. And we don't necessarily say, okay, we're going to target this guy or target that guy. It just really depends on how they play us. If they play us a certain way, then this guy is the guy you're going to go to. But on the outside, we get a lot of one-on-ones, because of the nature of our offense. So we've got to win some of those to have success.
Feels like on the other side of the ball, we've seen Kikura get a little more run lately. What have y'all seen from him?
Yeah, he's an older guy that actually has played a lot this year. And I think he's getting more comfortable, too, with what we're doing. I thought our corners handled themselves pretty well in the last game. And this will be the biggest challenge they've had so far with this group. But, we like to have 4. We kind of have 4 guys that we're rotating at corner. Kikura can play a couple spots for us.
Felt like against Liberty, especially those first 2 drives, the front 7 kind of picked up where they left off against Middle Tennessee State. Felt like they got good pressure. Was there something Liberty did late that sort of limited what y'all could do there?
Well, we did. I mean, we knew this guy was going to scramble. We lost Contain a couple of times, which we knew we couldn't do because he was going to scramble around and ran for some key first downs and then scramble around and made some key throws. And so you can't lose Contain. You got to have some rush integrity, and you can't, when you're rushing a guy like that, you can't go way up the field and let him step underneath you too much either. So you got to know the depth of your rush to be able to put pressure on him. We didn't affect him nearly as much as we needed to at times. And so part of that was us, trying to come up with different ways to handle both that pass game and their triple option stuff, because there was really 2 different things. It was, all their triple option things in their pass game. So we had to be really disciplined. And, we didn't have our best game on defense, but we didn't play well really in any phase for long stretches in order to win the game. If we'd have played, obviously, we'd have played better, more consistently, that's a game we could have won, but we didn't. And they had something to do with that.
What did you think of the atmosphere? You've talked about wanting to kind of establish something.
I wasn't sure. I think it was a wide out. I think, it was kind of set up for a really neat atmosphere. And I thought we had good turnout with students. I thought there was a decent turnout with the crowd. Because you never know midweek. People are working and, they got to drive to get here. And, the game's later, so you're going to get home later. So, I didn't know how it was turn out on a midweek game, but I thought our crowd was pretty good. And what I've seen some of the other crowds at some of the other teams, midweek games, I think our crowd was one of the better ones. I don't know the stats, what our attendance was, but at least it looked like it for me from our end. Now our visitor side, not so much, but that's the visitors, right? So, but anyway, I thought it was a pretty good atmosphere. I hope we get another one. This will be the last midweek home game. So hopefully we get it, because the crowd does make a difference. I think it's fun to go out there when there's people into the game.
Do you know how many recruits there were?
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as many. I mean, we've had 100, almost 200 at our Saturday games, between 180 and 200. And not all of them are offers, but, I mean, they're invites. And so I think we had maybe 100. So that's, even for a midweek game, that was a pretty good turnout. And I think they have a good time when they got here. I mean, our band is terrific. You know, I think as we develop a student section, I like to put the students right behind the visitors, you know, and just let them go crazy, you know, be annoying and make a distraction, whatever. But I think until we fix that side up, we got them on the other end.
How important do you think it is when recruiting generally just to be winning and to have, you know, not just a winning record, but maybe a lot of wins stacked on?
Yeah, I think when everybody wants to go where you have a chance to have success, you know, bowl games or whatever, I think most of our recruits know we're in a transition period, so I don't know what the expectations are. But you do it, I mean, as a coach, you do it two ways. If you're winning a lot, you say, hey, you come join us, be part of this, something special. If you're not, hey, we need you to win, you know. So your message will be whatever the hell you need to message at the time, you know. If we're not winning and we're not playing well, hey, well, you know, that's why we're recruiting you, so we can win. So it's, you know, coaches will send the message, whatever it is. But I've been really pleased with the response. You know, we've just shown the pictures of our facility. That's a big part of not just the football operations building, but, you know, our plan for the covered practice facility and weight room is a big part of our plans too. That, hey, we're serious about being a good Group of 5 program, Division 1A program, and, you know, we're investing the money in that. And so that's you know, a big part of what we're selling to recruits, that we're moving up, not just to move up, but we want to have success when we move up. I mean, Liberty's an example of that, and I know they got a lot of money, but they got supposedly tremendous facilities, and they've invested in it, and it's worked. And I think Western has done the same thing. You know, they've invested in their program, and I know everybody here wants to do the same thing. It just costs money. I mean, everything costs money, so we need some help.
You said Malik might be doubtful.
Yeah,
this game. Just how important is it? It looks like Anwar's back, and
he's back. I don't think he's back 100%, or at least he's not performing at his 100% level like he can. But I think every week is a little better for him, so he should be a little bit better. Reggie Allen Bennett's got to help. Juwan Evans has got to help. So we've got to get that. If Malik is out, he's one of the faster guys. We've got to get those other ones to kind of step up a little bit.
Coach, you talked about Jamarye and Woods.
Yeah, I've known Jamarye for maybe 10 years now. It's been a long time. We're both kind of older than that. I remember recruiting Jamarye at Arizona. I remember going watching him play as a quarterback. And a lot of people recruited him as a quarterback. There was an athlete, whatever. And, you know, I was convinced when I saw him that he could play quarterback in our system. Still think we could. And he probably says the same thing. But I love, you know, he's athletic, tough, competitive guy. And then obviously didn't get a chance to coach him there, so he's gone. So it was, hopefully we're getting we'll have a chance to get him come back here and join our program. He's kind of older, mature guy. He's been around and knew a little bit of our offense, but you know, didn't really play in it, so he's still learning it. But I think I've seen him get better and better every week because he's getting more comfortable with what we're doing. It's been a big bonus to have him here. You know, he's a good football player, but he's a lot of fun to be around too, and you know, gives a sense of maturity to the wide receiver room that we need, because we don't have, like I said, we don't have a lot of seniors. Well, we have 11 or something like, you know, it's not very many, and so you know, you got to have, in order to have a good year, whether you have 10, 11, or 20 seniors, that's got to be a really good group and good guys that know what you want to do with your program. And our 11 guys I think we're getting really good leadership.
Is there anything, when you recruited him, is there something particular that you saw that spoke to that athleticism that you liked so much?
Yeah, you see a guy run around, you know, typical guy, the guys that makes the plays that are there, you can find them anywhere. But guys that make the plays that sometimes that aren't there, or create something when it's get you out of a bad situation, athletically scramble around, get a first down when everything kind of broke down. I think the one game I went to, there were 2 or 3 times where there was nothing there, and he scrambled around and had big runs and made the difference in the game. So, and you saw that with the guy last week. So, those guys are. Any defensive guy will tell you that's hard to defend when you got a guy that kind of makes things happen when things aren't the best situation. And I saw that Jamarye do that in high school.
I mean, when you have guys like Jamarye, who was recruited by you, and then Clay and Malik and Perry.
Yeah, all the Monroe guys.
How much does it help to have them, whether they're seniors or not, just kind of knowing what you're going for?
Yeah, they kind of know how we run things. Not even so much the plays, because you guys remember plays, but how we run practice and how we coach. It's a little bit different. Sometimes it shocks guys that aren't used to getting coached hard or not getting used to coach with the same intensity that we do in practice, and it's a little bit of an adjustment for them. But guys that have been there, like the guys that were Jamarye's been, he watched our practices when we recruited him, and then the guys at Monroe, Quay, Malik, and Perry, to those guys, they knew how I was going to coach. They knew how our practices run. So it was, they made an easy transition for that. And it was a shock to the guys last year, right, for all the new guys. This year, the only shock was to the handful of newcomers that had never been to one of our practices. So it's a little different. I think we're not the only ones that run kind of intense practices, but ours are not as long, but they're kind of intense, I guess.
This week is another big week for us. Just preparing and trying to capitalize on the good things we did last week and the things we didn't do so well on last week. So really excited for this week and excited to get after it.
What do you remember about Coach Rich Rob recruiting?
He was an intense coach, and nothing has changed. So I love that about him and everything that he preached as he was recruiting me. And as he preached it, he lives by it, that I'm noticing. So when I got here, it's just a ball of intensity and work ethic with Coach Rich Rob.
I'm sure some of the specifics are different. It's a different situation, but what is sort of his pitch in terms of why you should play for him? Do you kind of remember what he told you back then?
It was really, I liked what he was doing at Arizona at the time. He had Khalil Tate, who was a very similar quarterback as I was coming out of high school. So I saw a lot of similarities in myself with him. So I just thought if he can do that with Khalil, he can do that with me, him and Coach Smith. And I trusted them coming out of high school. So that was the biggest thing. I trusted them outside of football that they're going to help me get through college and motivate me to be the best player I can be.
What's the I know this isn't your first year doing this, but what was the transition like to receiver, and was that hard at first to sort of maybe make that swap?
Yeah, so it wasn't too difficult. My freshman year of high school, I was a top 25 receiver in the nation when I played at South Point. So I was a receiver at first. We had a quarterback issue my freshman year of high school, so I started playing quarterback and never looked back. So when I went to receiver in college, it was more like, I know I can do this. We lost 4 receivers in the same position group, so I was like, I know I can do this. I can help the team move to receiver. So it was just like riding a bike for me, just more getting my body in condition of running routes again rather than dropping back and scrambling.
What's Coach Smith like?
Coach Smith is awesome. That's my guy. So Coach Smith is a laid-back guy. He's gonna get on your butt sometimes, but he's a laid-back guy and really knows what he's talking about when he's coaching you.
A lot of teams, they kind of have their 3 or 4 guys and they'll leave them out there for most of the game. Obviously, y'all don't do that. Y'all will rotate in 6, 7, 8 guys at receiver. What's that like for you to just, be a part of such a big group that sees playing time?
It's really motivating because at any point somebody can go in there and make a play, and they could be the next hot hand. So when you're in there, you just got to focus on your job, your 111th, and make the play when the ball's thrown to you because obviously at the end of the day it is a competition. But just make your play when the ball's thrown to you is the biggest thing I can say for that big group of receivers we have.
So do y'all push each other?
Oh, yeah.
Is there
Oh, yeah.
talk among y'all about, I'm gonna
Yeah,
step up
of
tonight
course.
and
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago when Quentin Lane was making plays and Pat was making plays, they'd come back to the sideline and I'm telling the quarterback, don't throw the ball back to him, like don't throw it to him again. So it's just like a friendly competition, but at the end of the day, we're all motivating each other. We're all excited for each other when somebody makes a play because that's a receiver group. At the end of the day, we're all a unit. So whoever makes a play is a big play for the unit.
how tough is it, with you coming in to just get comfortable with the playbook? Like how long does sort of that process take?
I pretty much think it was fall camp. Fall camp was the process of really getting the playbook and grinding it out, getting tired, running plays, and trying to mentally focus in on the plays. Spring, I was here since spring, so I kind of had like a brief kind of overview of the playbook and getting to know it, but you don't even know if you really know the playbook until you get tired and it's hot and the bullets are flying. So sometimes people mentally break down, but that part was the part where we had to build. So that was probably the most difficult part. Just trying to breathe out here in the southern heat was my biggest thing.
As a transfer, I mean, can you kind of speak to what kind of difference it makes to be able to come in spring as opposed to just coming in the fall?
Yeah, so being a transfer, coming in the spring is a big step. Same thing out of high school. If you were coming out of high school or a transfer coming in the spring, it's probably the biggest step you can make for your college career because that's a point where you can get your body in shape. If you're in high school, coming to college, get your body in shape, get more college shape. And if you're a transfer, get in the playbook and be able to bond with your teammates and mold into the offense or defense, whichever position you come to choose to play.
What have you seen out of Jordan McCants? He's a younger guy that
Yeah.
seemed to get some more playing time lately.
Yeah, Jordan McCants, he's a baller. He's a hard worker. He comes to work every day at practice, makes plays in practice. So what happened on Saturday is something that happens almost all the time in practice. So it's just he puts the work in, so it's showing for him.
And then, what have you seen out of Ashton in practice? He's a guy that we saw, I think, kind of in the spring was kind of in the mix to be that fourth guy, and then, he kind of gets pushed down when, y'all have some other guys come in the fall, but it seems like he's kind of earned his spot now.
Right. So Ashton, he's a very, very smart football player. I remember going in there, just running plays and coming to the sideline. I'll probably break a route short or probably supposed to come flat. I kind of drifted a little bit, but he's taking drops behind the starting quarterback or the second string quarterback. And I come back and he'll tell me, hey, try not to drift on your route. Try to come back more downhill. And so he's more like big on the details and he focuses on everything, every little thing. So he's a really good player that can make a big impact for us, no matter if he's a young kid or a senior or not. But he's a good player.
What do you see out of Western Kentucky so far?
West Kentucky, they're a really good defense. They're athletic. They make plays. Their DBs are very athletic. Their quarterback is very good. They throw the ball a lot. That's just Western Kentucky's culture. But they're a very athletic team, and we got to come out and play this week.
The secondary for Liberty, just coming into that game, obviously, I think they led the nation in turnovers. Is there, when you're going against a group like that, is there anything y'all can do differently against those guys maybe? Or do you just sort of treat it like any other group?
As the receivers, we treat it like any other week. We just attack it. Just know that we have to win our 1-11. Like I said before, it's just about when the ball's thrown to you, you have to make your play. Receivers have the opportunity, unlike a running back or a running back, when you run the ball, it's 5 yards, 6 yards, 15, 20, 30. You never know what it's going to be. But if you throw the ball downfield, you're automatically flipping the field. So with receivers, we just have to just take our job day by day and just do our 1/11th when our number's called.
They're a good team. They got a great quarterback and they got a good receiver. Well, their whole receiver core pretty good. So it's on us this week in the back end to come out disciplined and just do what we got to do here on the business.
Questions for Jared?
Just how exciting is it to, when you're going against, I think, one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the conference and the receiver like this that's made so many plays this year. Like, what's that like? Is that exciting?
Yeah, it's exciting. You always want to play against the best. Playing against the best, it brings the best out of you. So it's a good feeling to go out to play one of the best quarterbacks in the nation for real, because he's a great quarterback, and also the receiver, he's a great wideout. You know, they got chances to play on the next level in the NFL, so it's a great feeling to go out and play against those guys.
What you said he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Anything specific you've seen that speaks
Oh
to
yes,
that?
he's a smart quarterback. You know, he got a strong arm. You know, he been there for a good little minute, so he's a great quarterback. You know, so that's why I feel like he's one of the best in the nation, and he's got a great amount of completions and yards. So, and he got great receivers coming to catch the ball for him. So that's why I feel like he's one of the best.
What Kicker is a guy I feel like we've seen get more and more play the last several weeks. Just what's he like, and what have you seen out of him this season?
Oh, KK, he's a humble guy. You know, he's one of those guys that's always up here watching film. You know, he sleep in the film room. It seems like he knows what's going on. So I feel like with him being in the film room as much as he's been, you know, that helped him a lot on the field. You know, because you know where the ball is going to be. So I feel like that's a big reason why he made those plays.
Was he a guy you could tell early on? You know, he came in with a lot of experience. Is that something that you noticed right away that kind of helped him?
Yes, yeah, he came from a JUCO, so he got a little experience, you know, playing college. So I feel like that helped him a lot. And then he learned the defense pretty good. You know, he could play corner and safety. So I feel like he learned pretty fast.
Just what have you seen out of Fred this season, just playing on the other side of you?
Oh, Fred, he played balls to the wall. You know, he go 110% all times. You know, that's one of those guys that go fly to the ball every snap, every play. No matter, he go fly to it, and he's a dog in the back end.
I feel like we've seen guys in the secondary, like you and the rest of the guys, kind of come out more, you know, kind of alternate with other guys more this year than last year. What's that like for you?
You know, we just trying to be a brotherhood. You know, just try to pass everything on to other people. You know, we just want to be closer. You know, the closer the team is, the better the team is. You know, we just trying to make everybody comfortable as possible so we can have a great season and finish it strong.
Does that help to have plays off, or?
Oh, you said plays off.
Yeah, so I'm
Oh,
talking about
sorry.
no, you're good. I'm just talking about like you know, we'll see like sometimes the entire secondary will sub out and a whole another group will sub in. We didn't see that as much last year. I was just curious what that's like.
That's great. You know, you want to have it like that. You know, that means everybody can play. You know, your ones is like your twos, and your twos is like your ones. So it's a great feeling to have those guys to come in and rotate because it can be rough sometimes. You're trying to play all the snaps because you're tired. You know, trying to play hard all game. So you need somebody to come in and take over.
I mean, you were talking about it in preseason camp that you were encouraged about the young guys and kind of their talent. Just how encouraging has it been for you seeing them succeed this season as one of the veteran guys?
They proved a lot. You know, like since they came in, you know, Coach Allen threw a lot of plays at them on defense, and they learned pretty well. You know, they came up here, watched film, and stayed after practice, did a little extra. You know, asked me questions. You know, I tried my best to teach them things that I knew, and they took it very good, and I'm proud of them.
What are your thoughts on playing midweek games?
It's a great feeling. It's kind of crazy, but it's a great feeling. You know, you get the chance to play on national TV, you know, and the reason why I say it's crazy because you have a quick turnaround. You know, you really don't have much of a break, and your days be confusing. Like right now, I don't even know what day it is right now, to be honest. So it's a crazy feeling, but also great at the same time.
Are you getting more friends talking, maybe contacting you, reaching out, saying, "Hey, I saw you on TV"?
Yes, every day somebody hit me up talking about something. They seen me on TV Tuesday or Wednesday, so it's a good feeling, you know, to have people back home to watch you play on TV.
What have you ever gone against Ashton in practice, and what have you noticed about him?
Ashton Fry, he's going to be a great quarterback for Jax State. You know, he got a bright future. You know, that's a talented young guy. You know, he's looked up Design and Logan and learned a lot from them. I feel like he's going to take it all in one day, and he's going to be that guy.
Do you feel like he looks different than maybe he looked back in fall camp?
Yes, he do. You know, like I said, he learned from Zion and Logan, and I feel like the things that he learned from them, you know, it go help him. So I feel like he's going to be a pretty good guy at quarterback.
What was the conversation like after the game Tuesday night?
Just got to take it to the chin. You know, we got to bounce back next week and just get prepared for WKU and just get better from it.
For seeing a guy like Ashton, in your own experience, just coming in as a walk-on, kind of working his way up, can you just kind of speak to what that process is like personally?
it's a crazy process. You know, matter of fact, Ashton, he hit me up this summer about that. You know, he came in as a walk on like me. You know, he asked me things like what I had to do like to get where I'm at, and I told him you just got to keep your head down and keep pushing and just prove to coach that you can play ball and you deserve to be playing ball at Division I level. You know, you just got to do the extra because as a walk on, you have to do extra. You just can't be regular. You got to do extra to actually prove a point to get on scholarship.
Is it hard early on to feel like I don't just have to have a good practice every practice. I have to have like a great, amazing practice.
Yes, it's hard, but at the same time, I don't really look at it like that. You know, I just feel like I have to go out there and show the younger guys, you know, how to practice. You know, I don't want to be the guy that's carrying them the way where they be practicing sluggish. So I have to try to find a way, you know, to better them, you know, by me running to the ball and just completing reps.